Hey guys, so today we're going to do a quick typography to a project here that's going to involve a skyline, and we're going to do it a couple of times. We'll do it 4 times, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to choose 4 different cities, and we're going to create our own little version of this. So this is, if you weren't aware, this is the night sky in Atlanta. And we see the skyline here, so I'm gonna just type out Atlanta in this little text layer here. So Atlanta, and I'm gonna make it big enough to kind of like extend across the screen. And I might change the font to something else here. Let's see if I can change the font to something that's, I think, a little more fitting to this this scenario here. So essentially, you could just choose whatever font you want. I'm going to choose this font called Dope Style, which I think is a lot of fun. I'll make it. I'll keep it white for now, and we might change the way it looks there. I'm just once again hold down Shift as you pull it apart here, and we'll just sort of pull it right up here. I might just make it extend a bit further up, and pull this all the way. We could go across like so. And again, if it goes a little off the screen, that's fine. But I think we should be able to fit it up here. Okay, cool, awesome, great. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, so I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and take this opacity down a little bit so I can see past it, and I'm also going to create a layer mask. The layer mask is going to look like, I'm going to put this little layer mask on here, right? So recall again that when you use a layer mask, essentially what you're doing is performing non-destructive changes to your layer. So if I want to make this go away, I use black to conceal it. As you can see, I can kind of conceal parts of this, and I can use white to reveal it, right? So I can reveal with white, conceal with black, right? So when you ever use a layer mask, white conceals, or white reveals, black conceals, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull this invisible for just a second, and I'm going to create a little, selection here. I'm going to get my pen tool. If you go down here on your toolbar here, you should be able to see this little pen tool. The pen tool is a great little tool that helps you create what we call paths. Now, paths can be used in a variety of ways, but mostly we use them to create these little like kind of specific shapes here. And so I'm just going to go click on all the little corners of these buildings here, and I can be pretty exact with this, but I'm just going to be a little bit kind of slapdash with this for now, so I can kind of get this done really fast. You can take a little more time with it, and I'm just going to click in between all the different buildings and stuff, and I'm just going to create this little path here. The path essentially is what we refer to as a vector. A vector is simply a mathematical equation. So with this line, basically, it's what Photoshop is reading is like coordinates on a grid and a variety of other mathematical formulas that are going on and stuff. Let's see if I can do this. And what's fun about this is that we can create these fun little curves with it, but we'll do the curves later. So for now, let's see if we can just across here, and so we're just creating this little path here along the tops of all the buildings, and you can decide which ones you want to have hidden or which ones you want to have revealed by, say for instance, maybe I want to have maybe instead of having these buildings selected, I could just go straight down and have the buildings behind it. So this is way back. So maybe these buildings back here, I don't want to see those. So I can just kind of extend past those and extend up here. Okay, getting close to the end here, it looks like. Here, I'll just real quick pull this through and angle this out like so. And like I said, the cleaner you make this, it has a lot of good results. You can sort of just make this up like this. Right. Okay, almost there. If you hold on Shift, it'll go straight down. Oops. And we could just sort of pull it over here. In this case, what I'll do is I'll just sort of make a little curve. So I'm going to click, and I'm just going to hold it down, and as you drag, it'll form a little curve here. And right, we'll just go like this. And we'll go all the way around it. And click it back up here. Cool. All right, awesome. All right, so now we have this Control 0, I go back here. So we have this awesome path here. What can we do with this path? We can do several things with it. So if I go over here to my layers and I make this visible again, and I click on my layer mask, and I just go over here and I right click on it and I say fill layer, fill path. It's going to fill it with the foreground color, in which case this is white. I don't want that. I want black, so I'll choose background color. If your foreground color was set to black, then you could choose foreground color. I'll press OK. It's going to fill that up with black, and it's going to make that go away. And what I can do is I can just right-click on this. I can say delete path. And now we've got this fun little skyline here that has Atlanta kind of hidden behind there. Now, like I said before, I can pick and choose which ones I want to have revealed. So maybe I want to see a little more of this N. I can actually, you know, have this this building back here be kind of like pushed back into the background by having this be. So I'm going to actually get my brush tool here. So once again, my layer, I get my brush tool. I'll change it to white, and I'll just sort of like pull this brush tool here, and I'll sort of like bring this back up into existence. I might pull my hardness up a little bit here. Okay. Sort of push that there, and so now we can kind of sort of hanging out there in the middle of everything. All right, so there you go. And so that's a fun little effect here. And so maybe I can bring this back up to full opacity. And maybe I don't really want it to be that white, that color right there. Maybe I want it to be a little more blue. So I could just sort of sample this color here. Let me get my text tool, and I'll just click on this, and I'll sort of sample some of the colors around to see what it looks like. Maybe this bright blue here might look nice. Maybe this blue right there might look nice. That's kind of cool looking. Maybe this orange kind of looks neat. That's kind of cool looking. All right, and just sort of pick, you can sample around the various colors that we have inside this this design to see what color you like. So I think I like sort of this orange here. What does that look like? So that's kind of fun. All right. And yeah, okay. Press OK. You got that? All right, cool. All right, so this will be our first one. Let's go ahead and create a new document here, and I'll make this into just like, say, I'll start off with 8 by 8, and I'll create this, and we can call this Typography 3, and we'll change this font to something a bit more, say, mundane, just because it's a presenting something here. So I'll change this to something like something sans serif here, not something scripty. And we'll just drag in a copy of this. So I'm just going to go Control-Alt-Shift-E, and it's going to copy all the layers here. I can just drag this in, and I can have Atlanta. So what you want to do now is you want to go to Pixabay, and you want to find a picture of 3 other cities. So you got Atlanta, and then you're going to find a skyline of, say, Paris, London, Los Angeles, Tokyo, wherever you want to go. Find something that's like where the name of the city is at least 5 letters, right? Let's not have anything that's like just like a don't do like Nice, France, like NICE. Like just do something that's like a little more involved in this, and see if you can't do the same effect where you have the name of the city blazoned across, and choose a different font for each one too. See if you can't find a different font that'll like make this sort of pop out as sort of unique from the different ones. So here's Atlanta. Would a different font suit London? Would a different font suit, say, for instance, Cairo? If you went to if you went somewhere, somewhere in like the Middle East, would you use a different looking font? You can always go to different kinds of fonts. If I looked up, say, for instance, dafont.com, you can find all manner of wonderful fonts here. All right, cool. All right, well, can't wait to see you guys produce. See you